Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 8th episode of Heart to Heart. I'm Sanja, and this is my co-host, Cicely. Today, we're just vibing. We don't really have anything in particular to talk about, but it is Halloween weekend, so we are going to talk about some costumes, maybe some spooky experiences we've had, our favorite things to do in the fall. We'll see where this episode takes us, but you guys know how we always start. Tell us what's been going on, girly.
Oh goodness. Life has been good. It's my favorite season. In my opinion, the best season of the year. So I've been soaking it all in. As you see the vest today, we have the pumpkin.
Some new decor for you guys, spicing it up.
And we have no stands today. We're pulling a little Alex Earl action.
Yeah, we were inspired.
Yes.
But good. So Cicely, you guys know that she plays soccer. She's about to be done with soccer next week, and that's crazy to think about. How many years have you been playing soccer?
Since I was like 5. It's insane.
Yeah, how do you feel about this?
I'm excited, honestly, to be done. I know that sounds really bad, but my body is just like, please stop.
Yeah, you're better than me. I think I gave up on sports after 6th grade, like forever.
It's just like my body is like deteriorating. So I'm excited to be done. I know I'm going to miss it, but I can always play like pickup games and, just kick a ball around. But yeah, I'm about to be done with soccer. End of a chapter.
What are you going to do with all this free time that you're going to have now?
I don't know. Probably just like hang out with friends. We can go, party a little bit.
Yes. See, we need that.
Yes.
I need a more available Cicely. But that's crazy. I mean, I'm low-key selfishly excited because for as long as I've known Cicely, she's been the busiest person I know, and it's going to be nice to finally get to spend some time together, go out, do all those things that we can now do that we're legal.
I'm just like excited to just chill, just have a nice time, me time, hang out with friends, be a college student.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm going to really use this experience. It's going to be like 2 months. I don't know what I'm saying. But 2 months off, it'll be nice.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of stuff lately though, because I've had like some free time. So, Ben and I went to the Orchard last weekend. It was really nice. And actually it was Ben and I's 7 years.
That's literally insane.
Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, so you guys celebrated by going to the Orchard?
No, we went to Saks and Valpo, and then Cold
My favorite.
Stone. We were going to go to the Signature Room in Chicago, but it's closed. Yeah, after 30 years, they like closed for economical reasons.
The one in the Hancock building?
Yeah,
I've been there before, and I was actually recently supposed to go. I was asked on a date, but I didn't go.
Well, good thing you didn't, because it's closed.
Well, now I guess I know that, but I had no idea.
Right.
What do you economical reasons?
I literally looked it up, and it said permanently closed, and I'm like, why?
That's sad.
It's a famous restaurant,
and it's the best view of Chicago.
Right.
So, well, that's depressing. At least I've been there before.
Yeah, I've never been, so I hope something goes into that building, but yeah.
But there are so many cool places in Chicago that, like, it's not the end of the world that it's closed. I'm sure they're going to find something cool to open up.
True.
Maybe rebrand to, like, because that's a very, like, classy, swanky restaurant. So
Swanky?
Is that a word?
I don't know. I like it, though.
I think it is. Like
Swanky.
a very bouge restaurant.
Ooh,
like,
okay.
open up the grimy places where I can be getting turned on the Is it the 95th or the 97th floor?
I feel like 95th.
Okay, well, maybe me and you can invest.
Yeah.
Open up our own club.
Yeah, with my $37.
One of the weirdest things, actually, though, like, going up in the elevator, it actually takes 30 seconds to go from the first floor to the top floor, but your ears pop. It's like a jet. It was kind of spooky, and I'm not scared of elevators, but I was like, this is spooky.
See, I am scared of elevators, so that would freak me out.
I don't think that I'm scared necessarily of elevators. Obviously, like, the concept of being trapped in an elevator is horrifying, but I don't think I'm really scared of them. But I do have a raging fear of heights.
Really? Wow.
I'll go on like I love roller coasters. I'm a roller coaster junkie, but like I one time went in the Monroe in like county forest. It's by IU.
Oh yeah, I know.
And they have like this watchtower in the forest that people used to like sit in there for hours. It was their job to make sure there were no forest fires, and now it's just like an empty tower that you can go in. And when I was climbing up the ladder, I was like, oh my god, I never realized how scared I am of heights. Like, it's very tall, you can see over the entire forest. And I was like, my knees were buckling. I'm like, I have a terrible fear of heights.
Wow.
But I don't know,
I don't like close like in spaces. I think I've told you that.
Yeah.
And I don't like elevators. They just make me feel uncomfortable. Like I just feel like I can't breathe, and I'm like, get me out of here. But speaking of roller coasters, I went to Fright Fest for the first time this year.
Oh my gosh. Recently?
Yes, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was so much fun.
See, I also have a raging fear of like what do you call them, like frighters?
The scary people.
I just made that up, but yes,
the scares.
Oh my, the frighters. Yes, the scares. That I can't handle it. Like, what? I don't know why. If I see somebody in a mask, it could literally be my best friend, and I would freak out. Like, I have a horrible fear, and my best friend wants to go to Fright Fest so bad, and I'm like, no, I will not go.
I would never think that about you. I feel like you're not scared of anything. Ooh. But anyway, my friend Mackenzie went, and she was like bawling because they were like chasing her.
That would be me.
And I mean, their costumes were awesome. They had so much detail. There was one guy that was like the devil, and he was like 7 feet tall, and like his makeup looked like on his skin. There was another, like, people with chainsaws, you know, and the guy that really freaked me out, it was this guy with a cleaver, and he had like blood all over him, and like he was scary, and he came up and like acted like he was gonna cut my face.
Yeah,
and so you couldn't do that.
What's crazy about Fright Fest is they'll follow you in a line, like into lines. They'll get on rides with you. They chase you. Like, absolutely not. Maybe I'm 22 years old now. Like, maybe it's time for me to grow up and do it again. But I haven't been to Fright Fest since I was literally in like 7th grade. And I hated it. I hated it with a passion. I cried, hid my face. I got chased. I was a victim because I was very clearly scared. And like, they target you if they know you're scared.
And that's what happened to my friend Ken's. Like, we got there when they did their like opening dance, and she was crying then, like, because she was scared. So they like saw that she was scared, and they were like chasing after her. Like, yeah, it was really funny, but like,
not even to be dramatic, I would go if I had a boyfriend who could like hold my hand the whole time, you know.
I'll hold your hand.
Okay. I mean, that's better than a boyfriend anyways. A Cicely Porter.
Well, I went with a group of girls, and it was really fun. Like, I've never been to that, and I like spooky stuff, like haunted houses and all that. But it was so fun. And like roller coasters, I went on like 10 roller coasters. Bren went on her first roller coaster ever, and she hated it.
I love roller coasters. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, after this weekend, Six Flags gets shut down until like what, May, right? Or like until it starts getting warm again?
Probably.
So I don't think I'll have the opportunity to attend Fright Fest this year. Thank God. I don't want to go.
Next year.
Maybe next year I'll be an adult and I'll give it a try. But no, I don't do haunted houses. I don't do frights. I don't like it. I hate it. And so in my neighborhood that I live in now, it's like a very big neighborhood, and it was always known for giving out really good candy. So like a bunch of people would always drive and just trick or treat in that neighborhood. And there used to be a haunted house in the neighborhood at the country club that they would do every year. And mainly it was just high school students who would volunteer and do it. But it was a known thing that every year during Halloween, when kids would go trick or treating, one guy would dress up as Michael Myers, and he would act like Michael Myers and like terrorize kids on the street, like follow them. And I remember one year my friends, we went and we were just driving around, like looking at the costumes, looking at the trick-or-treaters, and we saw Michael Myers. So we roll down the window and he starts approaching the car. My friends unlock the car and I'm like, hell no. I'm screaming. Like, I'm literally, Michael Myers scares the heck out of me. I don't know why. I'm scared of him.
You need to meet Ken's because she's terrified of him too.
I'm horrified of him. And I've seen all the movies too. And I think that's like, I watched the movies when I was so young that like,
you're traumatized.
It traumatized me to the point where I'm like, that could have been me.
See, that's me, but more of like Children of the Corn, because my house is surrounded by corn and I have a bunch of windows. So after I watched that, I'm like, I'm not going outside.
Okay, that's scary because I know you do live in very rural, not anymore, but she did, very rural Indiana. But I have a forest in my backyard and I have like a sliding door that leads to like our balcony. And I have, when my friends come over, they're like, aren't you scared? Like, don't you want to close the blinds? And I'm like, the only thing I'm scared of back there is the animals more than anything. But sometimes I'm like, what if someone's watching me?
I always feel like someone's watching me in my house because we have huge windows everywhere. Like, I don't know what my parents' obsession with windows is, but I think we have like 50 windows in our house. And they're huge, like probably like 10 feet tall. So I always felt like I was being watched when I was little. And there's a window in the bathroom by the toilet.
Oh, okay. I don't understand. So I don't understand that one.
So I don't know what they were thinking, but it's terrifying. And my dad one year scared my friends because we used to go all out for Halloween. We had like turned our basement into a haunted house, and like my house is scary at night because we live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And one year he dressed up as Michael Myers and like peeked through the window while we were watching a scary movie.
Yeah,
that was funny.
I don't think I ever would have came back to your house. Okay, well, speaking of Children of the Corn, what are your favorite scary movies?
Ooh, I love the Conjuring series.
I do too. I literally watched the first Conjuring in we're in the studio right now at Indiana University Northwest, in case you didn't know, G-Town. And I came here a little early one day, had a little time to spare. So I watched it in there, and I was like, if anybody hears that I'm casually watching this movie alone here, they're going to think I'm a weirdo.
I'm convinced that the studio's haunted after our short film, when we were like looking up the demon house.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've heard like some weird shit in here.
Well, let's explain. So we were in a class together last year, and it was a video production class. And we had a few major projects that essentially like made up our entire grade. And we did like a girls group for our final project, which was supposed to be a short film. And Miss Genius Cicely Porter decided that we should do like a scary film because, I mean, you know the story better than me. She was the one who came up with this idea.
I just love horror stories, and I thought it'd be fun to shoot. In hindsight, don't, because it just turns out cheesy and like funny. But the story behind it, like I did the writing of it, and it was really scary because it was involving the demon house in Gary, Indiana, which is a house where 2 children were possessed by demons. And there were like stories of the children like walking on the ceiling and on the walls and like seeing ghosts and a bunch of like just weird stuff happening. And even like a cop went there and he was like terrified and like ran out. So it was like a huge deal.
Yeah.
So the house, it was demolished back in like the early 2000s probably. But it's like a known thing in Indiana. Like it is super haunted. And so we kind of made our short film off of that. So I had to do a bunch of research in the studio about the demon house and the area. So ever since then, I've just been kind of scared to hang out in here alone.
Yeah, I don't hang out in here alone.
Yeah,
it honestly does kind of spook me a bit. But we did have a lot of fun making that film. It wasn't scary.
No, it was funny.
It was hilarious, and I guess that's what we get. But it was fun making it, and I'm not the person who's had personally like any paranormal experiences, honestly. But I do believe in paranormal, and I actually went to middle school. It's a school called Kaler, and it's in Dyer. There's a graveyard in front of the school. And I'm not even joking. You guys can Google it. Kaler Middle School, Dyer, Indiana. There is a graveyard right in front of it. And it used to be the high school, Lake Central, or it was like Dyer High School before they made like the big Lake Central High School. I don't know if anyone cares or if this even means a thing to anybody. But the middle school became about because the woman who like founded the school, Agnes Kaler, founded the school, and then she died, and they buried her right in front of the school in the graveyard. And I had teachers say like clocks flew off the wall, like weird things would happen. And I did experience some weird things, like crazy things happening on the smart board, lights randomly turning off. I never had a clock fly off the wall or anything, but everyone who goes to Kaler knows that Kaler's haunted.
Wow. I have a few paranormal experiences, but one, going off of that one. So my mom used to be a preschool teacher at Tri-County. It's a really tiny school. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of weird stuff would happen. Like things would be misplaced, like lights would go off, like you said.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing happened is she got locked inside of her room. So not the outside where you usually lock. Inside, she got locked in. Mm-hmm. So they literally had to call the fire department and the police department to get her out. And then like another day she was by herself, and then like a penny out of nowhere just like flies on the floor. And she was like kind of like freaking out at this point. She's like I don't know what's going on. Like she was telling her parents, and they're like, did you know that your grandma died there?
What?
So my mom's like, what? And they're like, yeah, your great grandma died there of a stroke when she was only 30 years old in that gymnasium. And that's where a lot of the weird stuff would happen.
Well, that's really sad. That's a lot to unpack. The fact that she died at 30 is very, very sad. And that I'm having a hard time comprehending that.
It's crazy.
That's right? Crazy, yeah.
But I've had a lot of weird stuff happen. I totally believe in ghosts. Not like in a sense like, ooh, like ghosts, but like I believe there are spirits, and like I don't know what they're doing. Like some of them are probably good, some of them might not be, but I've had some weird stuff happen that is just unexplainable.
I believe in like demonic spirits definitely. And entities. I just watched a TikTok yesterday talking about how like evilness is manifested through music. And one song in particular is Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat, when she says she a devil, you know.
I do not like that song. It just makes me uncomfortable.
And someone commented and was like, the thing about Paint the Town Red is like, I've never gone out of my way to listen to it, but
it's everywhere.
And they were like, and if I see it on TikTok, it'll get stuck in my head for like hours. And so I honestly try to avoid songs like that. And one song that I actually avoid is by Ariana Grande, God is a Woman. Every time I've ever listened to that song, one time I was in the car and I was listening to it, and I almost got into an accident, and I'm like, oh, he's mad.
That is so scary. So
I won't listen to that song anymore.
Back to Miss Doja Cat. The other day I was in the shower, and that song starts playing. It's not on my playlist. Mm-hmm. And this was like my Spotify, like, you know, the DJ. I was like trying him out. He played that song. I don't have like any Doja Cat in my playlist, so why is that song playing?
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I don't really know what's going on with her. I think she's very talented, but I just am not rocking. Like, no. Regardless of if it's a joke to her, like pretending to be demonic and all of this shit that she's doing, I just don't like it. I think there's something off about her to me, and like the way how she treats her fans and stuff. And I don't know.
There's something with the music industry, and I really believe this because I don't know if you knew this, but Lucifer was the angel of music before he got kicked out of heaven.
I didn't know that.
So like think about that.
Well, it makes sense. And you hear all of this stuff about how Hollywood is literally like the gates of hell, you know? And that's why it's kind of crazy to think about the people that we idolize are weirdos. Yeah. You don't know these people and you're idolizing them. You're paying their rent, you know? You want to be these people, and
they got some skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, absolutely. But Hollywood scares me. I've heard so many things about like Hollywood and how it's like the city of the lost souls, and also hearing about like the Illuminati and selling your soul and stuff. I believe in that.
I do too. And I used to be kind of skeptical about it until I had an internship at the city of Gary in 2021 when we had a state representative, or I can't remember his exact title or name, and I probably shouldn't name him because
we should
this,
not.
But
we're gonna get sued.
He literally talked to like 100 interns and was telling us not to sell our soul. A state or a government official is telling a bunch of interns to never sell their soul, and he was telling us about like Tupac and how he sold his soul and still owed his company or his record label after he died. Mm-hmm. But it was like the scariest thing I've ever witnessed. Because he was like crying. He's like, "Don't sell your soul." And I'm
you think he sold his soul?
My God, I don't know. But like that really opened my eyes. So I went down like this rabbit hole, as I tend to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the music industry is just like done. I'm done listening to that. Like, no.
I always get tarot card readings on my For You page, and I always skip them because that's like a direct link to the devil. Did you know that?
I've heard like that stuff is like demonic. Yeah.
Also, it's against my religion to get my palm read or get like a tarot card reading, you know, like
that stuff just scares me.
Me too. And also, you know, God forbid they're actually telling the truth. It's like, I don't want to know. If I'm going to die in 3 days, let it happen and let me not know. Please. And I do not manifest nor claim that. That was just an example. But I've never gotten my palm read. Tarot card readings scare me. I'm not into that kind of stuff. And people always think I'm being like dramatic. And it's like, why even test it?
Right. Like if there's a chance of it being demonic, why even try?
Yeah. I mean, you guys, if you listen to our last episode, you know that we're God girlies. So, no tarot card readings for me. I always click like not interested and skip because no thank you.
Yeah, and like Satanists scare the crap out of me, and I see them on my For You page sometimes, and I'm like, skip. And back to The Conjuring. Like, I really like that movie, but the first time I watched it, I got down this really deep rabbit hole on real exorcisms, and like the Vatican has like a whole building on just exorcisms, and I was like watching like real clips of like real exorcisms, and it is terrifying.
Well,
I didn't sleep for 3 days.
What's scary about The Conjuring is it's based off of real events. Like, Ed? Is it Ed?
That
and his
right.
wife, I forget the wife's name, Lori?
It's something like that.
Ed and Lori. Maybe. That could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But they were real people.
Yeah.
And that's what's, like, so scary about that movie. And then Joey King, she's one of the main characters in the movie. She talks about like the same thing like the demon house that we did. She got a bunch of random scratches on her body. Like the actors and actresses will talk about things that happened to them after filming that movie, and it's demonic. Like random scratches on her body, like creepy ass things that happen after filming the movie or during the filming. And I just wouldn't do it.
No. That's terrifying.
Like, it's one thing to be like an actor or an actress in a movie like Michael Myers or like, but when you start,
because you know it's fake.
Yeah, when you start screwing with like entities and demonic stuff, like, but I think also the movies Insidious, those are really good movies, and I enjoy those movies, but I don't like to watch them too often.
Now I'm at a point where I like to watch like cheesy scary movies because like I know they're not real.
What do you consider a cheesy scary movie?
Like, you're gonna kill me, but like Michael Myers or Jason.
I mean, I watched them.
I really like Freddy Krueger.
I like, what's the one movie? It's about kids killing their families. It's like this family moves into a house and there's a bunch of tapes left over, and like the dad watches the tapes and then the kids become.
I've seen that movie. I can't remember what it's called.
That one's a scary one. I'm trying to think about the scariest movie I've ever seen. I've watched the movie Midsommar, and
oh my gosh,
I wouldn't even say that it's necessarily scary. It's disturbing.
Yeah, the end.
It was one of the craziest movies I've seen, but honestly, I liked it. You didn't.
No.
I really enjoyed it. It's insane. No, and there's like
it's about
scenes,
a cult, so like they do some messed up stuff.
a pagan cult in Sweden, I think.
Yeah.
And they basically like find Americans who are vulnerable and are at like really bad places in their life, and they like sacrifice them.
See, that really scares me because I feel like it could be true.
It probably is. I wanted to bring this up. Cults, like,
terrifying.
that's a real thing. What cult was I thinking? Oh, Scientology. Like, I go down the rabbit hole of Scientology all the time, and like how easily people are influenced by people of power. You know what I mean? Or
isn't Tom Cruise in Scientology?
I've heard that there are a lot of celebrities in Scientology.
Wow.
You know, have you ever seen, is her name Janelle, like the girl who eats the mustard and the cottage cheese? Have you seen her?
Yeah.
The mustard lady. So somebody did like an expose video of her on TikTok, and apparently her dad's like a really big Scientology like leader. And people were like, we knew there was something off about this girl. But yeah, and then I also always think about the cult that, what's his name?
Manson?
Yes.
Charlie Manson.
Charlie Manson. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that like is about the Manson family and stuff.
That's a great movie.
It is really good. Love you, Tarantino.
But yeah, cults are terrifying.
I know.
And I like the movies that are kind of like disturbing or like thriller, I guess. I really like the movie Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense. It's so good. I don't want to even talk about it because I don't want to spoil it. But it is so good.
I sobbed the first time I saw that movie. But the show Mindhunter, have you ever seen it? That's a really good one, but they canceled it. But that one's a thriller, and it's like it follows like detectives who are working on mass murders, and like it's crazy.
You know what other show I really like? Ghosts or Mythbusters. And I like when they do like paranormal stuff. So fun fact, they actually came to Jasper County to look at this one phenomenon, I guess to call it. So there's this one road in Rensselaer. It's a really old road, and I don't quite remember the legend, but somebody killed himself because like I think their family died of like a disease. So if you go out to this road and park your car, you can see what it looks to be a lantern swinging, and it looks like someone's riding a horse.
I've heard about that, and people like drive up the road.
I've been there.
That was like a big thing that we knew about. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? In Cedar Lake,
there's one in Cedar Lake too, I think, right?
There's an abandoned it was an all boys Catholic school, and it came out that the priests at the school were raping the boys and molesting the boys, and they shut the school down. It's called I forget the name of the school, but you can Google it. Abandoned Catholic school in Cedar Lake, Indiana.
I have a story on schools after this.
So
remind me.
It's a giant property, and obviously since it's abandoned, it's closed off. But I know people who have gone there. I personally haven't gone, but I've had friends who have gone and stuff, and they have said, honestly, like when you walk inside the building, it is 30 degrees colder than it is outside. Like it's horrifying. And I think that there was like a YouTube special on people who like go into abandoned haunted places and stuff, and they did it at that school.
Wow.
So
anyway, back to Moody Road. So that's what the road's called. And so you see this light go across, and no one can explain it. So Mythbusters came out to try to explain it, and a lot of people suggested that it was the cars off the interstate that were reflecting. They tested it, and they could not figure it out. So the mystery is still there.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. But back to the schools. So there was a college in Rensselaer called St. Joe College. It closed down in 2017, but it's been around since the 1830s. So it's been a really, really old school, and there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
But there's something bad happened there, because you can just feel that presence. Like, And I've seen like weird stuff in this one building across the school. I think it used to be an Indian school. I'm not 100%.
An Indian school?
Mm-hmm. So I would see like shadows after hours, and then there's like a candle in the window. Like, it is so creepy. So this past weekend I was looking into like scary stuff in Indiana, and I found out that 3 priests hung themselves there after a failed exorcism.
No, not for me.
So it is terrifying. Like, if you go there, you can just kind of feel that presence. And I don't, do you feel that? Like, when you go to like places, like the energy just shifts and you feel like pressure on you?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I never went inside that school, because it's like, I don't even want to be exposed to that.
I even felt it when I went to like the 9/11 memorial. Like, it's just so heavy. It's like,
and even hypothetically speaking, let's say that this is all just myths and they're not actually haunted. Being in the same place where poor young children were molested, like, I don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't play with that stuff.
Have you had any personal like experiences at your house or like a friend's house?
No, I haven't. I'm not even joking. We get our house blessed every year by our priest. I always have my cross on. And no.
I wore my cross today. I don't know.
I have holy water in my nightstand. I have a book of prayers in my nightstand. I'm not scared that like my house is haunted or anything. I've never had any personal experiences like that in my house.
That's good.
I mean, I did go out of town this weekend, and I have like 2 bathroom doors, and one of the doors was open that I didn't think I left open, but maybe I did. I'm just telling myself I did.
It could be the wind too, you know.
No, it's in the basement, and also like it's always shut. But I'm telling myself that I left it open, because we've been having people come in and doing flooring, like putting in new flooring. So I'm like, oh, maybe they left it open. I hope.
True. I've had a few personal experiences. My grandparents' house used to be haunted, and people think I'm crazy when I say this. And like, my grandparents do not believe it, but everyone else in my family, cousins, nieces, nephews, everyone knows. And my older cousin, and when I was really little, said something bad happened there. I don't know what happened, but there's something wrong. So throughout high school, I would notice things, and it got really bad like my junior year of high school. Like stairs would creak at night, like sounds like people were running down. The garage door would open, close, lights would flicker. One time when I was home alone, the garage door just kept coming up and down, and no one was home, and music started playing. But my dad even thought it was crazy until one day he was looking for the TV remote and he couldn't find it anywhere. And he like stood in the middle of the living room, was like, huh. And then all of a sudden the remote fell and hit him in the head. And he still was like, oh, somebody put it on the ceiling fan. Or I'm like, who would do that?
Yeah. Did they move out?
No. I think they had it blessed or something, because nothing has happened for like 2 years.
Okay, here's a hypothetical question. Let's say your dream house is on the market, and you have the funds to buy this said house. What if someone was like murdered there? Maybe not murdered, but like...
Sorry. Our table's fallen.
Okay, just intermission really quickly.
Okay,
so back to this very bizarre hypothetical question. If somebody died in that house, would you move in? Or do you have a theory of like...
Okay, it depends how they died. If they died like a peaceful, like in their sleep, I don't think there's a problem. But if they were like murdered, hell no.
What if it wasn't like a random act? It was like a targeted act. Would you do it?
Probably not, no.
I don't think I would either.
If they died in their sleep, probably. But if they died like someone murdered them or like a wrongful death, no.
Yeah.
What about you?
If it's my dream house, I'm pulling up. But no, if like I agree with you. If it's them like dying peacefully in their sleep or of old age or something, I could get over that. But if someone was murdered there, absolutely not. Especially if it was a random act of violence, I would think like, oh, they're gonna come back for me. And I listen to true crime podcasts. My favorite true crime podcast is Dateline, and there's a Dateline special called Murder in the Magnolias. It's one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to, and it's just a story about a woman who was somebody hired a hitman to murder her. So it's just like this entire story. But I am a very cautious and scared person because I do listen to so many true crime podcasts, and like it really puts in perspective like
people are crazy
and how often it's like for no reason, just random acts of violence and stuff. So that scares the heck out of me.
That is so scary. And like I think I saw a statistic, you walk by 15 murders a year.
I've heard that too. And so also we live in Indiana, and Indiana has going through Indiana we have interstate
we have like
65
5 major interstates.
I-65 is an interstate that goes all the way to Florida. So when you think about it, like I always think how often I've driven past somebody who maybe was kidnapped or taken against their will, and I drove past them on I-65 because it's such a big crossroad of America. And I've heard that Indiana is actually like very dangerous.
Yeah, we're actually in the worst area for human trafficking in Northwest Indiana, which is terrifying. And this is ironic you're talking about this because Bren and I were having this conversation the other day, and she's like, I would be so interested to put like a heat, like thermal, like testing by, like when cars pass by to see how many like bodies are in trucks.
Oh, that's smart.
Because there's so many trucks on the road.
We had this instance in our area at the mall. So we only have one mall in our area. And it's honestly, a lot of stores have closed down in the mall. It's not really, like, it's very run down. It's not a great mall. But there was a time period where this woman kept going up to girls who were alone in the parking lot and asking them to meet up with her to do like Bible studies, and so that she could teach you about her religion. And it came out that like she was helping out human traffickers. Wow. And this was like 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm always so cautious. I rarely go to the mall, but like when I do, I'm very cautious. I try to never go alone. But it really is scary. Like you hear all these stories about people, you know, being targeted in parking lots or like in Walmarts or stuff like that. And I'm just so self-aware, you know.
That's good though. Like you are self-aware to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
And like there's terrible stories. Like just for example, like this keeps popping in my head. Like Jeffrey Dahmer. Mm-hmm. Like he would go to the bars and like prey on people and then murder them and then eat them.
I know. And
like what?
Did you watch the show?
Yeah, it's so good.
Which is, I know that there's a lot of controversy around the show because it's kind of like entertaining these tragedies. It's like making these horrible tragedies like entertaining to people. And I guess that also goes the same with, you know, true crime podcasts. Like I find them entertaining, and not in like a, oh, like that was awesome. No, I'm like, I'm like intrigued, you know.
Yeah. And like how could someone do this? Yeah. I think it's important to make people aware though. Like this stuff is real.
Yeah, and I know that, so that show that came out with Dahmer, it's a new series that they're doing on Netflix, and every season is going to be about another notorious criminal. And I think the next one is going to be about the Mendez brothers, because I don't know if you're familiar with their case, but they murdered their parents who were like abusing them.
That one's really controversial too.
So I think that maybe because it's not, you know, like more people side with the Mendez brothers, then obviously nobody sides with Jeffrey Dahmer, but you know, more people can sympathize with them because they were abused. Like murder's never okay by any means, but you know, I think maybe that's why they took that route, because I thought that they were gonna do John Wayne Gacy for the next season. And he's so creepy. He lived only an hour and 15 minutes away from us in Illinois. Like what, my cousin literally lives like 5 minutes away from where he lived.
Jeffrey Dahmer lived in Milwaukee.
I know.
Like, that's so close to us.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And, you know, obviously, like, it's horrible, and I do understand the perspective of, like, the victims' families and how triggering it is to make an entertaining TV show about real life tragedies that happened.
Yeah.
But it is important to be self-aware, and, like, in this day and age, you have to be, especially as a woman. You have to watch your back. You have to be aware of who's behind you. You know, you got to carry things on you to be safe. And I need to do better at that. Like, I don't carry mace or anything around with me, but I should.
Yeah, I have it in my car, but I don't like keep it on me. But yeah, it's scary. And we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer this weekend, and the show, like, this, I don't want to, like, come off like offensive, but he did such a good job acting. The actor,
he did.
Like, it was so terrifying. And like the Polaroids he would like take of his victims, they like have the real Polaroids, and I saw 3 of them and I had to like turn it off because they were so graphic.
So the hardest thing about the show for me to watch, obviously the murdering and all of that was difficult, but the last few episodes really touch on the
neighbor,
the victims, the neighbor, the families of the victims, and that was really
tough.
hard to watch, because it's the most unimaginable, horrible thing that anybody could possibly do. Like, murdering and then eating a person, you gotta be so sick in the head, you know? You can't even fathom that. And the God's honest truth is, there's probably more people out there like that, you know, who live amongst us, and maybe they just are able to fight their urges better than he was. But, like,
I mean, he was able to kill, I don't remember the number, like 8 to 15 people.
I know.
He got away with that many people.
And then who was another very notorious?
Bundy?
Yes. And obviously he was very dangerous because he was attractive. I'm not saying I think he's attractive, but I'm saying, like, it's a known thing that he was able to victimize so many girls because he would go to these college towns, and, you know, that's a crazy thing because nobody would have guessed that from him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he had a full-blown girlfriend. He was somebody who would be like the textbook definition as attractive. And with Halloween coming up, I want to hear your perspective about people who dress up as Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer. What do you think about that?
I personally would not. I just don't think it's tasteful
at all. I think that's weird as hell. I'm gonna say it. Like, I think that is so weird.
I also don't like the devil or like like
I'm not gonna lie, I did the Nun one year.
The Nun.
It was the worst Halloween of my life. So if that says anything to you guys,
don't dress as the Nun.
Don't dress as the Nun. But
wait, you're talking about like an actual nun or like the like scary nun?
No, like a sexy nun.
Oh, okay.
But I was a senior in high school, so I didn't do anything like too sexy. I honestly just wore like a black bodysuit, spandex, the cross, and then the thing. But
what has been your favorite Halloween costume?
See, I haven't had really good Halloween costumes. I've never really taken it seriously. Like, last year, didn't even dress up because the one person who should have dressed up with me didn't want to. If you guys can take a hint who I'm talking about. I'm trying to think.
And do you dress like slutty or funny or like both?
So I've never really dressed that slutty for Halloween because I think this year I'm not even dressing slutty. That's the thing, is like I'm excited about what I'm wearing this year, but it's by no means slutty. It's honestly cute. Like,
what do you mean?
Okay, I'm going as this has to drop after this weekend though. Okay. So that nobody can. Actually, I don't really care. I'm going as Goldilocks. My best friend is going as Little Bo Peep, and then my other best friend is going as Little Red Riding Hood. So our goal with it is like bedtime stories, fairy tales.
Cute.
So I'm doing that, and then the other night I'm just going as like a Harley Davidson biker,
biker chick.
Yeah, not trying to do too much, but so let's hear your favorite costumes. Let's hear what you're being this year.
This year I'm going as Wednesday Addams, and Ben is going to be Lurch.
Oh my god, that is so good.
I'm really excited.
Slay.
So, but it started when Ben and I first started dating. My dad would call Ben Lurch as like a joke. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of like making a fun off of it.
Nice.
Bren sent me a TikTok and I literally was dying. So I'm going to share this. She said that Ben should be Abraham Lincoln and
he low-key should.
And I should be someone like related to him.
You should be John Wilkes Booth.
That's what she said, but I didn't know. Is it him or is it Harvey Oswald?
Oh my god, John Wilkes Booth killed JFK.
Are you sure? I don't know. I get them confused.
No, Lee Harvey Oswald was the one who killed Lincoln.
Okay.
John Wilkes Booth killed JFK. I'm so sorry. I did not mean.
It's okay. They have a lot of similarities, so it's okay. But yeah, I thought maybe that for next year.
That would be hilarious. What have been some iconic Cicely costumes? You strike me as a girl who's like absolutely killed Halloween.
I love Halloween. Last year we went as like a funny costume when we were bald people. Bren was Caillou. Brisa was Mr. Clean, which she killed it, and I was mental
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
When she shaved her head with the umbrella.
Yeah, mental breakdown Britney Spears. That's the word I was looking for. So that was fun. It was But my favorite costume, oh shoot, our pumpkin. Sorry,
pumpkin down.
I was Cleopatra one year, which was fun.
So was I.
It was kind of fun. My brother and I went as like Daphne and Scooby-Doo, and that wasn't fun, but we made the mystery van out of like a wagon, so it was kind of dope. Yeah, so that's the only one that comes to my head.
Wow. Okay, one costume that I always wanted to do was Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie from The Simple Life.
That'd be so good.
But like nobody's ever wanted to do it with me, and I'm like, that is so iconic. Like the cover photo, they're holding the pitchfork. Yes. So my brother texted me and my sister yesterday, and he was like, what's a good costume like me and my girlfriend can do? And his girlfriend's brunette and he's blonde, and I asked my friend Mina, because she's the one who comes up with all the costumes, like she's a genius. She was like, they should do Kelso and what's her name, Kelso and you've never watched that 70s show? Kelso and Jackie from that 70s show. And I was like, that would be iconic.
That would be cute.
But you know what? Cheers to all the guys out there who are willing to dress up for Halloween. Shout out Ben.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, we love you guys.
If you don't dress up for Halloween, you're lame. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm going to say it.
I didn't dress up for Halloween last year, and I was lame.
But
and
if you have a plan, too, and you don't follow through.
I did have a plan, too.
Okay, you're lame.
I know. I am lame, and I'll say it, but I had nobody to dress up with. Like,
no, that's different too, though.
He didn't want to dress up with me, and so I wore this outfit to the bar that we went out, and I had on this like, it was basically like a monochromatic outfit. Is that when like the top and the bottom matches colors? Yeah. So I wore like this really short blue top, and then I had these not matching, but they were the same color. Blue pants that I wore, and people were complimenting me on my outfit, and they were like, wait, what are you supposed to be? And I was like, oh, I'm a part of the Blue Man group, or I would be like, I'm water. Great outfit, just not appropriate for that night, unfortunately.
So is that your worst outfit, you would say, or just like a really bad outfit?
I won't say that it was the worst outfit, because it was a great outfit, but
worst costume. What's your worst costume?
One year I went as a maid, and all of this stuff didn't come in on time, so I just basically wore a black dress, and that's it. That was my worst costume, probably. I wore just like a little black lingerie dress. It wasn't see-through or anything, but like that's all I wore, and I had nothing to show for it. I had no dusters, no cutesy little hat that a maid would wear, and like that's a good costume, I'd say.
It is a good costume.
But I've had some pretty horrible costumes. One year, my best friend, she lives in Milwaukee, or she did live in Milwaukee. She came and visited, and we had no Halloween costume, no plans of a costume. We just went to Party City and we bought masks that were just one color, and we wore like matching spandex with them, and we were like, oh yeah, like we're purgers. Those people were not in the Purge movie. We just completely made it up. People are like, what are you guys? I'm like,
I also did that one year.
okay, well, that makes me feel better. I guess we've all had those like down bad years where
I've been lazy. Like, there's some years I just put on a jersey and spandex.
this year I've spent an insane amount of money on my costumes. I was originally supposed to go as the girl from Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought this like 2-piece set, and it was really cute. The shorts were a little bit too small on me, and I've never gone super slutty for Halloween, so I felt a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of wearing this out. So I ended up returning it, but it is a slay idea. Like
it's a great idea.
The concept was there, but it was not executed properly. So maybe I can divert back to that costume one day.
It would just be so perfect this year, though, with your nails and like, I don't know. Okay. Next year.
Yeah, next year.
My worst costume, this is so embarrassing. It was like 2017 or 2016, around there. I was a trap queen. So I literally just had a crown on and put trap queen on my shirt.
I'd rather be the Blue Man Group.
I also did Risky Business one year. I thought that was kind of lame. That was for Morp.
Risky Business is a classic, though, but it is highly overdone.
It's lazy.
I one year did Barnacle Boy and whatever from SpongeBob.
Oh,
I never grew up watching SpongeBob, so I was all cap with that. For senior banquet, me and my friends at the time, our costume was honestly iconic. We went as the Vlog Squad.
Oh my god.
However, I chose to be Dirty Dom, and if you guys didn't know, Dirty Dom has been canceled, so I had to delete all the pictures of me in that costume because I'm like, I don't want people thinking that I like resonate with this man or condone his behavior. Like, he appalls me. But I did win Biggest Rebel at my senior banquet as like my award, and I was like, oh, like how classic, me being Dirty Dom and winning.
That's a cool
Biggest
group
Rebel.
costume.
It was
I like that.
It was very unique. Like, one, obviously someone went as David Dobrik, one went as Alex Ernst. I don't know if you're familiar with like the old Vlog Squad videos, but like Alex used to like smash tables with his foot and like dress up like he was in the army. So we also had Eliza Koshy, and then we had a Little Nick.
Oh,
so it was iconic. And then Dirty Dom,
is.
of course. It was iconic. We didn't win Best Costume, but in
You
my
should've.
book, we should have. So that was a good costume. I just wish I didn't go as Dirty Dom because he's dirty. Like, he's been canceled.
Emphasis on dirty.
I can't stand him, but he wasn't canceled, nor had anything negative really come out about him at the time I went as him. So please don't attack me, people. I didn't know.
Yeah, my favorite group costume was Power Rangers. I thought that was really cute. But yeah,
we also talked about going as like the Fantanas. The Fantanas, like from the old Fanta commercials.
Oh yeah, that'd be cute. I liked Alex Earl's costume of like the gum, like the Wrigley Gum Girls.
That one was cute. Kylie Jenner and her squad always do fire ones. They did the Fantanas. They've done some pretty legendary ones. So. But yeah, I feel like nowadays no costumes can be original because everything's on TikTok. Like, everyone gets their ideas from TikTok, so it's like no matter what you go as, you're gonna see multiple people in the same thing. So,
and it just sucks when people have to ask like, "Oh, what are you?"
I know.
It's like, whatever.
Did I really do that bad? Can't tell.
It's like whatever. But yeah,
I did like Alex Earl's the spearmint gum. That was pretty fire.
It was cute.
It's amazing to see how creative people get. I wish that I was more like that, but I'm not, so it's fine.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm excited about my costumes this year. I'm really excited about Goldilocks. Like,
That'll be cute.
I'm gonna take a picture. I'm just gonna give you guys a little
Sneak peek.
I'm gonna take a picture, and I'm gonna say Goldilocks and the 3 beers.
I like it.
You can hold 3 beers. Is that stupid? Don't tell me if it is. But I also got a purse that is just a bear's head. It is so ugly, but like we're committed to the cause, so
love committed.
It's fine. I had to go hard to redeem myself this year after last year, so.
All right, well, I'm excited to see it.
I know. All right, well, I think that this was such a fun episode, obviously aside from, talking about
serial
murders,
killers,
cults. There were a lot of things that weren't very pleasant about what we talked about, but for the most part,
it's spooky season. I mean, you can't get around it. So I hope you have a great Halloween.
Yeah.
Excited to see what everyone comes up with. Sorry about our table malfunctioning. But yeah, happy Halloween.
We love you guys. See you guys next episode.